I was on statin as well for about 2 years because of my cholesterol. And soon as I saw that what Paul Mason presented with the study from the 60s and 70s about the LDL, so I took the statin and put him in the bin straight away. Yeah.
Udo, how did you find Carnivore?
Uh, right. I think it's very similar to a lot of the stories actually, where people start looking for answers. Yeah. Or don't trust the healthcare anymore. Yeah, or they find something going wrong with them personally and they don't know how to fix it. The doctor can't fix it. So with me, it started like well over 3 years ago when basically I mean, I never really was overweight and I really looked after myself in some sort of respect. That as soon as I put on weight, I had less from that. So as soon as my belt got tighter, I said, no, you gotta eat less and or more exercise and whatever. So from it worked till about 3 years ago, and all of a sudden I put on weight without no reason quickly, and I didn't have the answer, and so this is when it start also when I start looking for answers, and the first. Of course, I went like a lot of people down the rabbit hole on YouTube looking for answers. So the first one I came across was Dr. Stan Ekberg, and he actually was my hero. So I bought equipment to check my blood glucose and my blood pressure, and so I stuck with him for a while. And I actually now found out that I was pre-diabetes, and so I started taking records, I make tables with records and and start using his recommendations, starting intermittent fasting, prolonged fasting, and looked at what I'm eating, uh, trying to get all the garbage out. Uh, like a lot of, I mean, my case is not that extreme like others where they lose hundreds of pounds. Yeah, but with his advice, I lost 30 pounds, and that I'm now was basically I was back to my optimal weight. So that was good. And so I actually got my answer why I'm putting on weight so quickly. I was pre-diabetes. Yeah. So I mean, here in the UK, to go to the doctor now after the so-called pandemic is very very difficult to get appointments. So if I knock on the doctor's door and say, "Well, I need some blood works done," he probably said, "Get lost." Yeah. So basically, this is what happens now. It's very hard to get appointments. Yeah. So yeah, so I found out my own research. I was pre-diabetic. In the UK, was around about 7. So anyway, after that, it came down to under 5. So I was quite happy. I mean, to get the A1C from the doctor, no, no, even insulin test, unless you there's a suspicion you're hypoglycemic, they won't do an insulin test. Yeah. So anyway, so I guess my insulin was rising. Yeah. So okay, so that was good. And then all of a sudden, one of my friends he said, "Oh, I found the keto diet." And I said, "What's that?" Uh, he said, "Oh, you just eat more meat and you reduce your carbs and sugar." So I said, "Yeah, I try. I'm very open-minded, so I said I try it." Yeah. So, but she went off after 2 weeks, and I carried on for about 3 months. But I bought all the exotic flowers and all the natural sweetener replacements. Bought all this, all made the fancy cakes and all this, and then I said, "Hold on a minute, as I'm putting on weight. Uh, how does it work?" So I guess my insulin resistance was still there, and you still eat even though you don't eat sugar, but it's the taste of sweetness still can raise your insulin. So so anyway, I felt in general I felt better, so less carbs, and but then you have to start counting your net carbs, and from the keto, it's very easy to fall back of the wagon. This is what I did. I fell back of the wagon, back on pizza and ice creams and all whatever, because you still kept the sweet taste. Yeah. So, but so I went back down the rabbit hole eventually, and I said because after I don't know how long, it's like about 3 4 months back on the junk diet, and all of a sudden I felt really horrible in my stomach. I mean, I had, I mean, I will tell later on the history with my parents, stomach issues and all this, but so I felt really terrible in my stomach. In the end, as soon as I put something in my mouth, I felt horrible. Not, I felt sickly. I just couldn't eat. I felt horrible. So I've done more research, and I think it was IBS, what I believe it is. So I went and I actually found some good answer from Dr. Ken Berry. He's a very good doctor as well. It's on my favorite list. And so I searched his for his answer for IBS. And he said there is something very simple you can do. You can just reset your stomach, like a reset switch. He said get some non-active antibiotics, which I can't get in the UK. So, but I still had some antibiotics, some mild ones. I said I use these for a couple of days, kill all the bacteria, whatever's in there, and then 2 days afterwards I start with some kefir, well, the highest fat kefir I could find, which is not very high, 3%. It's all low fat now. It's all ooh. And anyway, so I reset it, and then I actually came across Homestead How, where I actually found the carnivore. I watched one of his programs, and I said, "That's interesting. You just eat meat, yeah. All the keep all the rubbish out, the carbs, sugars, well." And I thought, okay, I'll reset my stomach. I'll start the carnivore and see how it goes. And I went for over 3 months, and I never felt so good in my life. Uh, I never felt so good. I even fell asleep with a smile on my face, and that never happened. And so what actually happened is my stomach after about a week was the IBS. What I think is gone, and the stomach felt good, and also it's like all the aches and pains. Like I was suffering from lower back pain for years and years and years. That actually subsided, not completely, but I wake up in the morning with a shallow little pain, but then it goes throughout the day, and I was really happy with this. Yeah, arthritis, the onslaught of arthritis, uh, what you gone. I mean, now and then I get a niggle or whatever, but the main is gone. Yeah, what a lot of other people mention is brain fog. Started lifting after about 3 4 days. I couldn't believe it. And so overall, 3 months, absolute greatness. Yeah, and so all I was eating is meat, not only just beef, but I like pork. I'm originally from Germany, so I was eating a lot of pork and lard, and I think that actually saved my bacon. And I come to that in a minute. I come to that in a minute. So anyway, I was feeling great until just nearly 4 months, and all of a sudden, I didn't know what happened, but my, I mean, I never had high blood pressure. My blood pressure was always good, but it crashed, and I knew that you had to increase your salt intake, especially in the transition period, because your body will lose a lot of fluid and a lot of electrolytes. So I think maybe I didn't catch the moment right to actually really increase it, and so my blood pressure crashed from about 117 to about under 90 with overnight. So okay, back down the rabbit hole and research. I went to actually Dr. Eric Berg. He's quite good with minerals and all this. So I guess it was my main nutrition, like potassium, magnesium, zinc, calcium. I think I probably depleted it, something in that direction. So, and I watched another couple of videos about carnivore, like salt intake. There was one suggesting 5,000 milligrams a day and one 10,000. And so I stayed in between 5 and 10. So after a few days, my blood pressure started rising again. And I said, I have you onto something. So, and I took extra electrolytes for a few days just to make sure. And then I actually eased off on the calcium because on calcium you don't really need that much. As found out from another video from Eric Berg that calcium, you just eat a bit of cheese or whatever, you get enough calcium. So anyway, so it's actually virtually stabilized now. I still got a little bit tingling in my hands, feet, and a bit my face, but that's actually going better and better, better. So I think I'm on the right path of getting the electrolytes sorted and stable. So, but and I also what I did is I actually introduced a bit more carb into my diet, just to make sure I hold on to more water and more salt. So, but overall, no, the diets. We said we don't call it a diet anymore. It's what we say. It's a medical intervention, maybe, so to speak. Okay. Uh, yeah, because as other people already said, you don't need to count the carbs. You just eat when you're hungry and eat loads. And that's what I didn't do in the beginning in the transition period. I had two energy crashes because I tried to do intermittent fasting from day one with the carnivore, and they said don't do it. They said eat when you're hungry and eat loads. Yeah, because in the first 2 3 weeks it doesn't really matter. Eat when you're hungry and eat and eat and eat and eat. I said, I'll do some intermittent fasting in between. So my energy crashed and it just falls like a stone. You just have to sit down and eat something and wait half an hour until the energy comes back up. But anyway, it's a learning curve. But anyway, it happened twice, and but now I'm through the stage where the transition is completed, and now I can do intermittent fasting, or I eat when I'm hungry. I usually like when I go to work, I don't eat breakfast, come home about 2 o'clock, and then maybe sometimes I have something at work to eat, maybe some cheese or maybe some eggs or something. But then I really have something to eat when I come home about 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and then eat. I give myself a eating window for about like 4 to 5 hours, and then back onto like intermittent fasting. I like intermittent fasting. It's nice, yeah, because you have a lot of energy in the mornings, a lot of energy, yeah. So no, that's good. So yeah, that's how I found the carnivore.
Congratulations. That's awesome. So, just to clarify, when did you actually get started? Like, how long have you been doing it now? Has it been a total of 4 months or?
Yeah, it's just over 4 months. Just over 4 months. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but I want to come back to my stomach issues, and I mean, both my parents are dead now. I mean, I'm originally from Germany, even though the name is Dutch. My grandfather was Dutch, and so my father came. Uh, he had Parkinson's disease, which is neurologically. So he succumbed to that, and he was really bad in the end. So my mother, I think it was either Alzheimer's or dementia. She basically in the end she couldn't walk. She was in a wheelchair. She couldn't talk, and she was just like a vegetable. And in the end, just died from that because I don't think she even recognized us anymore. So probably dementia. And but this is what I found now starts setting in, like when you get short memory loss. and so so I thought if I keep eating what they were eating, there's a good chance I'm going to go down the same route. Uh, it's a good chance that it's DNA related. That because we had a similar diet. I mean, even in the beginning, even when I was young, I had a lot of pork lard, and we had a lot of pork. I mean, our my uncle had a farm, and he was killing pigs every year, and so we had a lot of pork. Not too much on the beef side, but on the pork side. And they even had pork lard sandwiches to take to school with lots of salt and lots of pepper on it. And until actually when we start changing slowly, because when then it came out, oh, you shouldn't eat the saturated fat when this start kicking in. And because I remember you had fries, yeah, actually fried in pork lard or beef tallow, and that was tastes so wonderful. But it all changed and pushed all that vegetable oil in there, and we didn't know any better then. And I think that transition, even though we were eating a lot of saturated before, maybe that because I'm not down too far yet. Even I'm 61 next month, but I think I get my marbles back. Uh, it's not only because the carnivore started lifting the brain fog, but I also discovered some natural benefits in healing mushrooms. Not to eat them, but to make extracts. Uh, this is what I've started doing and make alcohol-based extracts like out of chaga, reishi, and now is the lion's mane, which is really now on the scientific table. It has a lot of cognitive benefits or cognitive function benefits, where it actually can pass the blood-brain barrier and actually heals your nerves and recoats them away in that direction. So I'm sticking to that. I'm making my own extracts and I can grow my own mushrooms as well. And so that's the only alcohol I'm having, 3 tablespoons. Even though down, see, when I left Germany and we were drinking lots of alcohol, lots of beer and all that, like, and but I was close to an alcoholic. You wouldn't believe. And I was drinking quite heavily for many, 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 many years. And I actually was close to an alcoholic. And until one day I said, nah, 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 nah. That's the wrong way to go. I just stopped drinking. Yeah, from one day to another. And it changed my life. And I found my wife and everything. And all of a sudden you got money. You stop drinking, you got money. We bought a house. And so it was a turning point really in my life. And so, but there was still one nasty thing. I still was smoking, very heavily smoking normal cigarettes, and even so, the healthcare system. I mean, I always believed I was on inhalers all since I was 6 years old. I was on inhalers and steroids and all this asthma and what they thought it was asthma and whatever. So even in the end, the asthma nurse down in the UK, when I live in Scotland now, but down in the UK, she one day she said, because my breathing was so bad, she said, I think you got COPD chronic. I said, what? That's a death sentence. You got about 4 years. If they can prove that is correct, you got 4 years and that's it. Yeah. So anyway, then we moved up to Scotland, and that really worried me. That really worried me. So and I said, hmm. So I saw the doctor up here in Scotland, and that doctor, she was really really good because in the end, with that steroids inhalers, I had them for so many years. I started getting headaches every day, and I thought I'm passing out. Yeah, I felt really lightheaded, and so I spoke to the new doctor, and she said, "Let's sit down for 20 minutes and we just talk." So I can see finally we find some answers. So I told her all the life stories about that asthma and all the inhalers and whatever, and she said, "Okay, we stop the inhalers, and I give you some antihistamine, 24-hour antihistamine." So we tried the antihistamine, and I give you a different steroid inhaler, a very light one, and you get to see the asthma nurse, And so she's going to do a test on the COPD, and we do an X-ray on your lungs because I had a really bad lung infection at the same time. So, and she looked at me, okay. So I came back a week later, saw the doctor and the nurse, and she said, the good news is the X-ray doesn't show nothing. I said, oh yeah, I think that's the last call. Went to see the asthma nurse, she done a COPD test, and she said, there's nothing wrong with your lungs. Nothing. And I said, where's the short breathness coming from? She said, it might not come from your lungs. It could be higher up. Something, thyroid maybe, whatever. She said, I don't know, but there's nothing wrong with your lungs. And so take the antihistamine, take that new light steroid, the new, one of the new ones, and see how it goes. And I tell you what, and the next day I stopped smoking. And I said, so I started vaping. But I got off that horrible stuff. And she said, that's fine. At least you're making progress. And she said, come back in a week's time and see what happens. And I tell you something, in a week's time, I never had so much air in my lungs. I never was breathing so good. As nothing happened. Yeah. From down nearly COPD to nothing. Yeah. And she said, oh, it's working then. And she said, there's something in the air, what she can't explain it. Yeah. But especially when I had a conversation with her that when we changed location, or you go somewhere on holiday where all of a sudden your breathing is better or is worse. And she said there's something in the air. It might not need to do. It could be asthma, but she thinks it's not. There's something else in the air that irritates something in your airways higher up. And so she said let's keep it going that way. So I haven't smoked for 4 years, and even on Sunday I gave up vaping as well. So because I thought I'm on the carnivore diet, I want to get better. You have to give up vaping. So I just took all the stuff and threw it in the bin. So and that's it. Now I'm on health pass, and I had some carbs today, but from tomorrow I'm going back on the carnivore. And then now feel my way through it, how we go forward. I don't know, but for me the carnivore diet is not a diet which you have to follow strictly because it's flexible. It depends on, I think, on your severity. I mean, if someone wants to lose 300 pounds, I think he needs to stay on strictly, yeah, until he achieves his goal. Or if you're metabolic really unhealthy, this is what I don't know yet because I can't just go to the doctor and get some blood tests done. I will try maybe in the summer holiday or whatever, I don't know, but to pay it for, I mean, yeah, you can get them done privately, but it costs money. It costs a lot of money, yeah. So at the moment, I just go see how I feel, yeah, or the test I can do at home. Yeah. So at the moment it's looking good. My blood pressure is looking good. My glucose is looking good. I mean, I even had it down to 4.4.4, which is on the chart on the American style, about 72 to 85. That's on the fasting one. Yeah. And I even done one after I actually ate some carbs, and it hardly moved. 2 hours after I had some carbs and it didn't move. But then I done more after now recently after 4 months and started to climb again. So I don't know. It could be normal. Could I don't know. I have to do some more research on there and keep an eye on it. So, but I'm really happy with the results. So yeah, I mean, for me personally, I mean, even my my breathing is sorted. I mean, I start restricting or taking that the new steroid inhaler. I haven't used it for 3 days, and I'm still my breathing is still the same. So I'm trying to wean off. But surely, even on the under histamine, I try to wean off. So apart from that, so I even done recently with my son. We went down to Dumfries and Galloway. I don't know if you ever heard from uh, the the tracks, the seven stain tracks. There's like mountain biking tracks. And he said, we got to do some mountain biking. And I said, I try. But I was really surprised. We done 30 kilometers in 2 days. Yeah. And my breathing was fine. My stomach, okay, I had to push it more often up the hill, but the stomach was there. I finished it. I finished all three tracks, and my muscles were fine. My joints were fine. I didn't have any aches. Had a few muscle aches after a few days because I haven't ridden a bike for years. Yeah. So it was good. I was really chuffed with myself, and so from here on, I think it's only going upwards. And even as Dr. Eric Stan Eckbert says, getting older is a choice. It's a
Mm,
choice getting older. You can get physically older, but it's the quality of life. Yeah, we all gotta die one day. Yeah, but he says the quality of life until then, it's your choice. Yeah, so you can eat the rubbish, or you can do something to improve and stay healthy. Yeah, and I think the carnivore, I think it's I think it's the only choice really. If you have metabolic issues and your cognitive function disappear and whatever illnesses you may face, it's that's the only answer really. Keto, yes, it's a stepping stone. Keto, I think, is a stepping stone, but a lot of people will fall off the back of the wagon because it's you're restricted to counting calories and your carbs, your net carbs, and and also you have still have that sweet taste in your mouth. So I think it's a stepping stone in the right direction. Yeah. So and that's my journey how I found keto and then carnivore. So
nice.
and but also there was also a few steps in between as well where you probably heard of Paul Mason, low carb down under, and I watched some of his interpretations of the scientific data, which when I was really gobsmacked when I heard about saturated fat, and I was so angry, and then now the so-called seed oils, and I was gobsmacked. Even the because I was on statin as well for about 2 years because of my cholesterol. And soon as I saw that what Paul Mason presented with the study from the 60s and 70s about the LDL, so I took the statin and put him in the bin straight away. Yeah. And I said to the doctor, I don't want no more. He said, why not? And I said, because LDL is it's nothing bad for you. Because you put the numbers in your system and it comes up, oh, you're 25% higher likely to get heart disease. And that's all you know. Yeah. But there are guys out there now like Paul Mason and all the other doctors who actually now doing the research in all the aspects of the diets and nutrition. And I think they know better. So whatever they say now, it goes
Mm,
with limits. But the only thing is but also I watched with low carb down under. They're done about the seed oils, and there were also some studies about tribes in South America where actually just lived on carbs and only carbs, but no seed oils, and they're doing well as well. They're doing really well, apart from the teeth or something like that because they're not getting enough calcium or something. But apart from that, doing also well. And there also was a study. I don't know if you've seen it about that skeleton, that 100,000-year-old skeleton they found, and they've done a cartilage analysis on what they ate. So even they say carnivore only eats meat, ruminous meat, but it's not that quite true because they actually found that there were 80% ruminous meat and 20% starches, probably from root they dug up. Yeah, because or they didn't, the hunts weren't successful, whatever, so they had to eat something. So I said to myself, okay, if I set the baseline, if you eat at least 80% ruminous meat and 20% not garbage. But if you eat some carbs now and again, some long strain carb, or it's like my wife bakes bread, yeah, it's just some good organic rye bread and things like that. I think along the line, then you already see it's classed as carnivore. Yeah. And some other channels they also say I think it's yeah, steak and butter girl. Yeah. They're actually now in their community have 5 steps of carnivore, where the fifth, the last step is actually just ruminous meat and salt, which then I would call is the lion diet because the lion only eats raw meat. Yeah. So that's what I thought. But they said there's 5 steps in meat. So some people still have some sources maybe, or so I think it's customizable. Depends on, as I said earlier, severity on your illnesses or your metabolic issues and things like that. But for me, yeah, I mean, I like my pork, I like my beef, I like lots of things. Yeah, I like eggs. I'm good with cheeses. Like, I don't really drink milk. Now and again, I have some kefir. I'm feeling good, but I think I'm feeling better now with just having the whole meat. So like 4 or 5 pork steaks or 2 big beef steaks or something like that. I think I feel better, and then maybe have a day where I even cook some soft boiled eggs and mash them all up, and I got some homemade butter mayonnaise, which is actually nice, really. Just grass fed butter and 2 egg yolks and a bit of apple cider vinegar and a bit of yellow mustard, so which is low in oxalates. So I think so long I keep the oxalates away and maybe as a special treat or maybe some form of home cooked baked bread or something like that, I think I will do fine. But the thing is, if things go bad, if it goes worse again, you know what to do. Yeah, you just cut them all out and go
Yeah.
back full. So, but what I'm really proud is of my son. I got him on the wagon, and he's nearly 13, and he's not carnivore as such. He still eats carbs and his cakes and occasionally, but he's got his own carnivore channels where he follows. He's doing his own research. We go in the shop, he reads the labels, and he tells me what is garbage. Yeah. And I think that's planted in his the seed is planted. So I'm not too worried. He's only 13. He's got a long, long way to go, but he know what to do when he needs to. Yeah. Let him enjoy. I mean, he buys now organic pasta. He buys that organic raw honey, and he does a lot of sport. Yeah. And his weight is perfect, so he's got no issues whatsoever. So let him enjoy himself, but the seed is planted, and
Yeah.
that that's all I need. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
That's awesome.
yeah, because he's watching me. Yeah, because when it was a week ago, so I said to him, "You shouldn't really eat this." He said, "You really shouldn't be vaping." Yeah, so I took that
You
on board. Yeah, and I said, so now I stop vaping, and now I can tell him that's rubbish. Yeah. So no, it's fun having so like a friendly competition where and he eats a lot of beef, good meat. Yeah, I mean we also got access to venison, uh, a lot of like wild birds and things. So and overall, I think yeah we're eating very good.
nice.
My wife is not too much on board. She likes the way her diet, but my daughter's not on board. So well, I'm sure they're watching me in some sort of respect. Uh,
Mm. I think, like you say about your son as well, it's the seed that's planted. You know,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
if you plant the seeds, then at least it becomes another tool in each person's toolbox to use whenever they feel they need it. You know.
yeah. I mean, I don't mind just eating a piece of cake. I don't mind. I was eating as a boy. I was eating a lot of sugar, but I was also doing a lot of sport. I was burning it off. as such, what I thought. Or but then you carry on in adult life, isn't it? And even I was loving my ice cream and all, but now when you look at the ingredients have changed. It's all garbage. There's no cream in there anymore. No, it's all ah, I don't know. I don't know. It's just garbage. Yeah. So, I mean, my son even makes his own ice cream. Yeah.
Oh
With,
wow.
with
So
healthy ingredients like really double cream, where you have about 40% fat in there. Yeah.
hmm.
So, so
Yeah, just to touch on that, the ingredients all being garbage, it is like it's all about texture and just getting you to come back and eat it again. It's nothing about, there's no thought about nutrition. The
no.
only thought might be there has to be enough fortified vitamins in this to actually get it passed as a food. That's all they care about.
Yeah, but it's available for us. We don't know. Doubt it. Yeah.
Yeah, unlikely. Yeah, it's just, enough vitamins put in there, whether it's bioavailable or not, just to get it passed. And then,
Yeah. I mean, just coming back quickly where you went, or you from yesterday with the UK diabetes website. I mean, I put a quick comment in there. So if they said it's a healthy, balanced diet, so you start off with a healthy, balanced diet. So you become diabetes and you carry on with a healthy, balanced diet. So there's something doesn't add up there. Yeah. So even though there's on the American Heart Association, there's even now an abstract on there that cholesterol, there's no relationship between uh, heart failure and cholesterol. They just put it there, but they didn't announce it, but it's there. Yeah. So and some of the other doctors they start picking them up now and they're searching for it. Yeah. I mean, I know one of them is Paul Mason. He's usually always on there and trying to find the answers for us. Yeah? And I think it's the same as you. You're bringing out stories from other people where somebody else might relate to. Yeah. Somebody maybe relate to me, some others don't, but your list is getting longer and longer and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So somebody will relate to someone and
mm,
hopefully help them as well. Yeah. I mean, and
yeah,
I thank you for that. Yeah. I mean,
no worries. So, just on that point, like if someone's watching and they feel like I want to give carnivore a try, what's the advice you'd give them to get started with carnivore?
first of all, I would point to a channel, maybe something like you, where you can search and find someone similar who's got, for whatever reason, he wants to do something about his health. Whatever reason he has, maybe he can find someone who he relates to and then just give him a kickstart. Because all of a sudden, for someone to all of a sudden, oh, I only got to eat meat, nothing else, and they maybe start panicking. Yeah, because I had it. I found someone. I was doing a bit. Sometimes I do some fishing, and I met someone who actually got type 2 diabetes, and he has to inject insulin. And I said, look, I've done this. It could help you as well. He said, no, I'm all right. The life the way it is now is rubbish anyway. I don't care. I said, all right. What about your son? Don't you care about him? Yeah. You can see he's putting on a lot of weight, his son. And he just looked at me and said, I said, okay. You can't force people to be healthy. Yeah. I had someone at work, he was interested in it, but I sent him some information, but didn't take it up. I think it's there because they're not unhealthy enough or they're too much addicted to the sugar. I mean, I was addicted to sugar as well, big time, but you got to make a choice. They said sugar or feeling better, or even give it a try. Because by changing your diet, you're not just going to die. Well, I hope not. But because your body is equipped with that. Because even if you do all of a sudden fast for 5 7 days, so long you drink water and have some electrolytes, you're not going to die. It's impossible. So so I would give the advice: just find someone who you relate to, and just take it one step at a time. Maybe try keto first, yeah, or go slowly to reduce your sugar, reduce your carbs on a daily basis. Maybe, yeah, wean yourself off. I mean, there are possibilities to do it, yeah. I mean, because I was done keto before and I've done intermittent fasting before, so for me it was quite not easy, but in my mind I said I had to do it because I need to find the answer for the illnesses I had, and the only way is to try. You only can try. Try it for one day. Try it and say, "Well, I try it for another day. I try it for another day," or maybe say, "I try it for 30 days and then see how it goes." Set yourself a little target or say, because you can't just base things on someone saying something, because we all individual, our bodies reacts individual or different to individual situations or to different diets, and it's no pill fits it all. Yeah. So it's just just making taking the first step. I think is the best answer I would give. Take the first step towards it, and see. I mean, even after 3 days, you find a lot of difference. Like brain fog all of a sudden start lifting after 3 days, and I think that's amazing. Yeah.
Nice advice. Udo, do you have any way of people reaching out to you? Do you have a
Yes.
YouTube or
Yes.
an Instagram?
I will start a YouTube, and it's called Udo the Carnivore. So it is also they can email me at udothecarnivore@outlook.com. If anyone has questions or whatever, I'm more than happy to answer them or give them more experiences. So I think by the end of the day, it's the healthcare system. It's not the doctor's fault. I don't blame the doctors, but it's the ones who taught them. Yeah, in the universities, I think that's an influence from the globalists, and so and because if they would teach the correct things, what they actually know, and we could save 70% of the populations, because I that's most of the functional doctors and holistic doctors think 70% is food related. Yeah, so we're treating food. Yeah, so and the pharmaceutical wouldn't survive it, or the food industry wouldn't survive it. Yeah. So I think they
Yeah.
got the pie, they got the fingers in the pie, and trying to keep the ball rolling as long as they can. And unfortunately, it's humanity's in that. If the trend is keep going in the way it is, humanity's dying out. Yeah, it's on the way out. So even though the
Yeah.
answers are there, but as you say earlier, people are inclined to they just go to the doctor and take the pill.
So, Udo, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate you coming on and sharing your story.
Oh, you're
Thank you
very
for your time.
more than welcome.